As we continue from where we connected survivable space to disclosure and liability, we now move into the real-world application of wildfire preparedness and emergency response. This section bridges the gap between prevention and action, what homeowners, communities, and real estate professionals must do when wildfire risk becomes reality. This is where everything we have learned, Firewise principles, fuel management, defensible space, and disclosure, comes together into a practical plan. Understanding the high-hazard fire environment in Arizona. Much of the Southwest, including Arizona, is considered a high-hazard fire environment. These areas contain the necessary ingredients, fuel, weather, and topography, to support large, intense, and uncontrollable wildfires. Within these environments are homes, subdivisions, and entire communities, many of which are not fully prepared to withstand a wildfire event. The reality is clear. It is not a question of if a wildfire will occur, but when. This reinforces a key concept we have discussed throughout this course. Preparation must happen before the fire starts. The power of pre-fire activities. Pre-fire activities are the most effective way to improve survivability. These include maintaining defensible space, using fire-resistant building materials, and managing vegetation around the property. For example, a homeowner who installs a Class A fire-resistant roof, clears vegetation around the structure, and uses Firewise-approved plant materials is significantly reducing their risk. These actions directly influence how a home will perform during a wildfire event. Additionally, environmental factors such as drought, increased temperatures, and insect-damaged vegetation have contributed to higher wildfire intensity in Arizona. This makes proactive preparation even more critical. The limitations of firefighting, a reality check. One of the most important concepts for homeowners and agents to understand is that firefighters cannot save every home. While the majority of wildfires are controlled, there are situations where fire intensity exceeds suppression capabilities. When flame lengths increase beyond certain levels, firefighting strategies shift from direct attack to containment. In extreme conditions, firefighters may not be able to defend individual structures at all. This means that the survival of a home often depends on the preparation completed before the fire, not the response during the fire. For example, in a fast-moving wildfire in northern Arizona, homes with proper defensible space may survive without direct firefighter intervention, while unprepared homes may be lost. Wildfire emergency guidelines. Before, during, and after, preparation does not stop at landscaping, it extends into emergency planning. Before a wildfire, homeowners should gather important documents, medications, and valuables in one place. They should prepare an emergency kit with essentials such as water, food, first aid supplies, and tools. Evacuation routes should be planned and practiced. When a fire is nearby, immediate action is required. Vehicles should be positioned for quick evacuation, flammable materials should be moved away from the home, and utilities should be managed appropriately. Homes should be secured by closing windows, doors, and vents while maintaining accessibility for emergency responders. If an evacuation order is issued, it must be followed immediately. Delaying evacuation can create life-threatening conditions and hinder firefighting efforts. For example, a homeowner in a wildfire-prone area who waits too long to evacuate may become trapped due to road closures or rapidly changing fire conditions. After the fire passes, the risk is not over. Homeowners must check for hidden embers in roofs, attics, and surrounding vegetation. These embers can reignite and cause additional damage. Shelter in place. Understanding the risks. Some homeowners may choose to remain on their property during a wildfire event. While this is an option, it carries significant risk. Those who attempt to evacuate late after choosing to stay often create dangerous situations for themselves and emergency personnel. The safest course of action is to follow official evacuation orders and prioritize life over property. Real estate application, guiding clients through reality. As a real estate professional, your role extends beyond the transaction. You are an educator and advisor. Buyers purchasing property in wildfire-prone areas must understand the importance of preparation, defensible space, and emergency planning. Sellers must understand how these factors impact marketability and disclosure. For example, a buyer considering a home in Show Low or Prescott may ask about wildfire history, defensible space, and evacuation routes. Your ability to confidently address these topics adds significant value. This ties directly into AAC R428-1101, requiring reasonable care, and reinforces your responsibility to guide clients toward informed decisions. Fire-adapted communities, a collective responsibility. Wildfire preparedness is not just an individual effort, it is a community effort. Fire-adapted communities work together to manage vegetation, improve infrastructure, and plan for wildfire events. This includes coordination with local fire departments, adherence to community guidelines, and participation in programs like Firewise. For example, a neighborhood that collectively maintains defensible space and follows Firewise principles is far more resilient than one where each property is managed independently. This concept reinforces the importance of communication, cooperation, and shared responsibility. Final connection, from preparation to professional practice. Everything in this section connects back to your role as a modern real estate professional. You are not expected to be a firefighter or a fire scientist, but you are expected to recognize risk, guide your clients, and ensure that proper steps are taken before, during, and after a wildfire event. This includes recommending defensible space, encouraging emergency planning, and ensuring that all material risks are disclosed and understood. By doing so, you elevate your practice and protect your clients in a meaningful way. Transition to final section, complete risk management strategy. With this foundation in place, we are now ready to move into the final section, where we will integrate everything into a complete real estate workflow, from hazard identification to disclosure and closing. This is where knowledge becomes mastery. Online discussion. Why are pre-fire activities considered the most important factor in wildfire survival? Answer: because they directly reduce ignition risk and improve a home's ability to withstand wildfire before it occurs. Why can firefighters not protect every home during a wildfire? Answer: because extreme fire conditions and limited resources can prevent effective suppression of all structures. How can real estate agents add value when working with properties in wildfire-prone areas? Answer: by educating clients, identifying risks, and guiding them through preparation and mitigation strategies.